I'm generally not a big fan of commercials. I can't hardly watch TV anymore without that remote in my hand, just flip away from them. There's one commercial in particular, I don't know, I saw it a little while back, not too long ago, that as soon as I heard it, it just really turned my stomach in a way, kind of. And because at the end it said, this changes everything. And I'm not even sure what the commercial was for. I think it was something with your guys' magic phones or something, that some increased, I don't know, speed or something, And I just thought, how silly, but how typically human, things become so important to us in our daily lives, things that really often are of no importance really whatsoever, or not very lasting importance. But it's just the way we are, I guess, fallen human nature. But tonight and tomorrow and throughout the season, we will celebrate something that really did change everything. And you'll notice in the epistle that the church chooses for us tonight, Paul is already going beyond the resurrection. He is to the impact of the resurrection, or the import, or what follows from the resurrection, So Christ was raised. Now, what does that mean for us? And the church has been meditating on that for 2,000 years. In part, we meditate on the resurrection itself, but then we spend the rest of our time, okay, so what does that mean if Jesus is raised? And Paul, in a sense, meditates on what does it mean for all of us, humanity. But we should spend some time, it seems to me, meditating on what does it mean for me that Jesus is raised from the dead? What does Christ's resurrection mean to my life? And that meditation can be ongoing, Like, what does it mean? Okay, what's the meaning of my life in terms of the resurrection? One of the things it means for everyone, for all of humanity, is that heaven now is open to us. We can spend eternity with God. But go beyond that, what does that mean to my life? Am I living my life in such a way that I can realize that possibility? Paul says, do you not understand that when we were baptized into Christ's death? And then he goes on from there. And do I live my life in such a way that does my baptism change how I live? Now, especially those of us who are baptized as infants, it takes us a while to start thinking about that. But what's the difference between my life as a baptized person and my life, the way my life would be if I weren't baptized? And once we start to think about, okay, I was baptized, not just all, what does that mean now? It starts to change how you live your life, What does this illness say I have? What does it mean, or how does Christ's resurrection impact that illness? Or how does Christ's resurrection impact this particular loss I'm experiencing? How does the fact that Christ is raised affect what career I choose, or what I do with my spare time, or my recreation time, or the people that I choose to be friends with? Or does it have any effect on the person I choose to be my spouse? What about my own death? Does Christ's resurrection impact how I approach that death? Do I use Christ's resurrection to speak to whatever feelings or emotions I might be going through at any particular moment? Objectively speaking, Christ's resurrection did change everything. Do we live that subjectively? Do we let that reality impact us? And to celebrate Christ's resurrection, on the one hand, is to celebrate an objective fact, something that happened. But to stop there seems to me to be a loss, a great loss. If, in fact, whatever new thing they came up with, that phone, did change everything, we should all go and buy that phone, I think is the implication, right? And so if Christ's resurrection changes everything, are we running towards that? Are we all buying, so to speak, that thing? Are we living our lives as if it really changed everything? Are we letting that change us?